Welcome to Arlington Public News. I'm James Milan.
And I'm Brenda Mahoney. Here we bring you the second half of the Arlington Stories of 2016 year-end show.
In the first half, we recapped the growth that occurred in Arlington, including in housing, schools, and business development.
But in addition to the pressure points the population growth produced, there was some time for fun and games this past year.
Yeah. Speaking of games, Brenda, did you catch Pikachu? Or are you still trying to take over that Pokémon gym?
Oh, you know me. I did not, James. But Arlington's Recreation Department got in on the action, and we show you how. And as if being highlighted on Arlington Public News weren't enough, a Boston TV station focused its cameras on the town during its on-location morning show.
Join us as we revisit those stories and more.
You can see that by 2025, we're expecting to see over 1,600 students.
We want to have a comfortable place that people can come, easily accessible, and right now the current situation doesn't fit that bill.
The Pokémon Go craze that's sweeping the nation has officially hit the town of Arlington.
The Regent for a night was transformed into a time capsule of a golden past.
Well, you're watching Arlington Public News on Arlington Community Media, but a Boston TV station, Fox 25, took viewers on a tour of Arlington this past summer. The station kicked off its Zip Trip morning show on the grounds of the Boys and Girls Club.
And that's where residents got a chance to take part in games and catch the behind-the-scenes action of the on-location show. APN was there to capture it all as groups and others in town came together to display their community spirit.
I actually think the community is what we showcase here, because I think that everybody backs up everybody else. There's so many people that I know that volunteer for different things that happen in the community, like the food pantry.
What does it mean to you guys to be able to give this food to donate to people maybe a little less fortunate than you all?
It means a lot to me because it's really exciting to give back.
I think just the community spirit that people come out to events like this and really friendly to each other and really proud of the town, and things like the fire department and police department and schools, and it's just a very good community.
That was a great event there
for
the town to really come together and show itself off.
And speaking of great events, as we mentioned before, the mobile game Pokémon Go was a big hit in 2016 all over the country. Arlington was no exception to the craze.
That's right. The Recreation Department got in on the action, hosting a Pokewalk. People of all ages explored the Arlington Reservoir while trying to catch them all. APN covered the event, helping to explain the game to the uninformed and finding out just how the app-based game fit in with the Recreation Department.
Drive around town at 8 o'clock at night, everyone is playing. So I was like, well, let's do something for everyone who's playing. These are people we don't usually get in our rec programs. We usually get little kids, sports. So we're involving more people in our community, which is really nice.
Well, that was also another exciting time, and it was well said by the Recreation Department representative there that she was driving around at 8 o'clock at night, back when there was sun,
yes,
still
indeed,
in summer,
exactly.
if you remember that, and saw everyone on their phones. What are they doing? It was Pokémon Go, and they certainly took advantage of that.
Absolutely, and I have to say, seeing that was a reminder of several things, how much fun that was for people involved that day. But also, man, it was great to be outside here for a while. Not so much the case at the moment.
Yeah, we are missing that as we look back at 2016 in those summer events.
That's right.
Well, coming up, the Arlington Center for the Arts was busy looking for a new home in 2016.
And population isn't the only thing that grew in Arlington. So did the grass. This past summer, the lawn mowing happened, but with goats. That and more when we come back.
Stay with us. The Arlington Center for the Arts has been located at the Gibbs School for nearly 30 years, but in 2016 they were informed that they needed to leave because the town needs to take back the leased space to convert it into a school for 6th graders.
Yeah, the ACA has since found a new home and began actively raising funds for it at the end of the year. The group hosted a ceremonial ribbon cutting at Town Hall and plans to move into their new location in the Senior Center building in 2017. Here's more.
After much debate to determine the future of the Arlington Center for the Arts, the center finally celebrated the launch of their new capital campaign to renovate their new space with a ribbon-cutting event at Arlington Town Hall on Thursday, October 27th.
This is a beginning, and it's a great beginning, but it's not an ending, and we need to keep the momentum going straight through till the doors open on a great new ACA in a great new location. So the first thing I need your money. Okay, we got a future fund going, and the future fund, although it is for the future, the time to give is now.
There's reasons that people move to Arlington, but I think people stay in Arlington and they love living in Arlington because of organizations like the ACA.
While it is certain that the Arlington Center for the Arts has to move out of the Gibbs building by the end of June 2017, it falls on them to raise the money to ensure their transition into the new building. But all ACA members seem very positive towards achieving this goal. ACA hopes to raise half of their target $600,000 with public funding using the Massachusetts Cultural Council's Facilities Fund. The fund is a matching grant 1-to-1, so if the ACA raises $300,000, the other half may be funded by the Mass Cultural Council.
Although this is a large amount of money, together it's not a lot of money. We in November are going to be launching what we call the $33 campaign. We have a little over 18,000 households in Arlington, and we need to raise $600,000. What that means is if everybody in town, if every household in town sent us $33 in this envelope, that is $600,000. That's it. So I feel optimistic. I feel cautiously optimistic, I guess I want to say, that this is something that we together can do.
A year ago, August, so it's been over a year, was when we first got the news that there was a possibility that the Gibbs would be repurposed as a school due to the explosion in school-age children enrollment. We worked really hard, and I think the town worked hard to not make it an us versus them. It wasn't the Arlington Center for the Arts versus the school children having books and erasers and classrooms to study in, because school kids are part of our client population.
I think right now everybody at the Arlington Center for the Arts is 100% excited and on board with moving into this new future and thinking about the parts of the new space that might serve the community better. For example, we love the fact that it's in the same building with the Arlington Seniors, with the Council on Aging and the Seniors Association, and thinking about what kind of partnerships and collaborations are going to be possible with them.
The ACA has already raised over 1/5 of the money needed and is planning more fundraising events in January and April. For Arlington Public News, I'm Shaz Sajadi.
Well, I know that it looks like it's all working out for the Arlington Center for the Arts, and they're moving into the Senior Center Council on Aging building, and they need to raise those funds to do some renovating to make the space work for their mission.
They've shown great resiliency, though, through this whole thing. It took them and everybody else by surprise. And again, the fast-moving nature of dealing with these enrollment crises and other aspects of the growth we've talked about before. As you mentioned, it just is happening over such a short period of time.
Hard to digest, and then resilience to move onward and upward after realizing that is what it is.
Well, the sight of goats at the old Sims property on Summer Street took people by surprise in the summer of 2016.
I know, I was certainly surprised and happy to see them. It wasn't a new farm they were at. They were on the job, hired by the residential property Arlington 360 to keep invasive vegetation in check. 4 goats had 1 week and free range to eat all the poison ivy they could stomach.
It wasn't a bad idea, according to Arlington 360, with the goats bringing savings and smiles as they did their work.
That's right. They certainly brought lots of smiles. And I understand, I think because of that, they were hired again at another location in Arlington at one of the parks, maybe Penonomy Rocks Park, I believe.
Could well be. I know, in fact, that goats and other ruminants are being used for this purpose in various parts of the country.
That's right.
So
it's good to see. Well, in sports in 2016, saw the Arlington High School Spy Ponders varsity girls soccer team going pretty far, clinching the Division II North Championship.
Yep, they beat the Falcons of Danvers High 3-0. In the state finals, the Ponders lost to Hingham.
Heartbreaking.
2-1
Yeah.
once again, as they did a couple of years ago as well. Anyway, despite that defeat, it was a great season and their second North championship in the past 3 years. So kudos to the girls.
That's right.
Last spring, the Regent Theater celebrated its centennial.
The 100-year-old theater marked the occasion with some history and, of course, entertainment. And they also got dressed up in period costume and listened to a silent movie that was originally played there. I think I stole your line. But that's okay. We're just talking about things that happened here.
Yeah.
So we had someone on staff there who was able to go and check it out.
Yeah, they were there and they brought us this report.
It was 8 p.m. on Monday, April 24th, 1916, and a new theater in town was making its grand opening. On that night, the Regent Theater was in business, becoming the cornerstone of culture and entertainment in Arlington. Back then, tickets were 15 cents. Movies were called photo plays and came on multiple celluloid reels. The musical score was played live right in front of you. But even though 1916 has become 2016 and people have uncountable options available for their sight and sound amusements, this historic theater shows no signs of slowing down.
We are celebrating the Regent Theater's 100th anniversary here in Arlington Center, our centennial, by recreating our grand opening from April 24th, 1916, with the same silent film that played 100 years ago that night in this very location. And we also put together a live vaudeville show with all kinds of fun performers.
From the Model T Ford parked below the marquee to the vintage costumes worn by gala-goers, the Regent for a Night was transformed into a time capsule of a golden past. But more than just costumes and props, Stein honored the theater's 100-year-old debut by putting together a program that looked a lot like what an audience would have experienced all those years ago.
We've got the Airborne comedians who are an incredible juggling duo and very funny. They love to throw things at each other and it works incredibly well. Alex the Jester, who plays Renaissance wind instruments in ways that you can't imagine. And Busty Keaton from Rogue Burlesque doing a good old-fashioned burlesque dance. And we've got the fabulous Ryan P. Casey and dancers straight from the Legacy Dance Company, which is the resident dance company here in the Regent Underground. And Groucho, you know, just because I can't forget Groucho is also going to be on
It's
the
certainly
scene.
wonderful to be here with Leland Stein. Stein and Stavros, yes, Greek and a Jew.
Lest
Don't
I
figure.
forget.
Yes, yes.
We've got Chloe Wellier, who's going to be walking on champagne bottles.
Yes, yes, I saw her. The woman, first she drinks it, then she walks on it.
And a lively mix of people came to revel in the celebration.
Huge mix is people like me that bowled here, went here to see 25-cent movies 50 years ago, and also younger people who realize what an important part of this town is, and everybody in between has been part of the great variety of things they do here.
The night's main event lit the stage just after 8 p.m. It was Mary Pickford's Rags, which was digitally remastered specifically for the Regent, compliments of the Mary Pickford Society. It all added to the novelty and excitement that surrounds the Regent, despite the fact that so many theaters like it don't exist anymore.
Theaters like this have been closing down for the last 15, 20 years, so it's a novelty that a theater like this is still around. And it's become, I would say, the economic engine of Arlington Center. If you notice all the restaurants here and all specialty restaurants, because we don't specialize in any type of entertainment, we do it all.
And maybe the biggest honor for the theater came with the town officially proclaiming April 24th as Regent Theater Day in Arlington, along with the resolution of acknowledgement from both chambers of the state legislature. And with a happy Regent Theater Day to all, I'm Rudy Anna reporting for Arlington Public News.
What a great Arlington institution, what a great event, and what a great story.
And it's great, too, as we're looking at the year-end review of 2016, that we're thinking about what happened 100 years ago and where this town really has come from. It's good to even look farther back sometimes.
Yeah, and I did enjoy it right at the end of that piece, seeing our own
yes,
Carla Dorado, usually often sitting right next to me. Right there in
the Model T.
behind the wheel of the Model T. That was great.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us. That wraps up our summary of the top Arlington news stories of 2016. If you're interested in local stories, you should consider joining Arlington Public News.
You can learn how to conduct interviews, develop and hunt down stories as a reporter, or maybe you'd like to get behind a camera and get some shots of your own.
You can also learn production by helping out with our newscasts here in our studio at 85 Park Ave. And if you want to learn more about joining our team of citizen journalists, you can find us on the web at news.acmi.tv. Call us at 781-777-1115 or email us. You can find all that information on your screen.
Thank you again for joining us for this special edition of Arlington Public News. We hope you have enjoyed as much as we have this review of 2016 news stories. Check out our latest segments on the web at news.acmi.tv.
And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Arlington Public.
I'm James Milan.
And I'm Brenda Mahoney. From all of us here at Arlington Public News, staff, volunteers, and interns alike, as well as ACMi, thanks for joining us.
And we wish you a happy and healthy new year.